The 8's full.
Oh, you're ahead.
How can you get away from it? You got the low, you got the flush draw, you got the full house.
That's the bottom of the card.
You'll see it on the vlog. You'll see it on the vlog. You'll see it on the vlog. There he is.
You made the right decision.
I hope so.
Face cards. Face cards.
Oh!
Face cards.
Oh! They're all rooting against me.
The entire table grows.
I told you I'm winning this.
Greg Raymer is in seat 9. We got some familiar faces.
We're in trouble. We're up against Poker Face. I heard you're an up-and-comer. I want to put you on my channel, give you some exposure.
He shows it!
You're mayhem here at the lodge. There's Wayne from Doctor's Poker. Say hi to the blog, Wayne.
Okay. Come on, everybody, don't stop.
I'm playing the $300 buy-in 15,000 guaranteed Big O tournament at Texas Card House Austin, part of their Fall Harvest mini-series, which will see over 100 entries and a prize pool north of 25,000. I had close to 90 video clips from this tournament I needed to choose from, so there will be plenty of footage where I include graphics and street-by-street action, but also some clips like this one where I just provide a quick summary of the hand. We were four-handed on the first deal of the tournament, and with ace, deuce, deuce, 5, jack, I whiffed the flop as it came with 2 high cards, but I managed to go runner-runner to make the wheel and win a decent pot to start. I am under the gun holding ace, deuce, 5, 6, 7 suited in diamonds to my ace. I raise it up to 600. The button and both blinds call, and we're going 4 ways to a flop, which falls jack, 8, 5, rainbow with 1 diamond. Both blinds check to me, and I flop the nut low draw, an open-ended straight draw, and backdoor diamonds. Early in the tournament, you want to take opportunities to chip up as all the weakest players are still in, and you'll want those chips later when you're facing off against better players. I lead for the full pot of 2,600. The small blind and big blind both call. The turn is the 9 of clubs. The small blind checks, and now the big blind leads for the full pot of 10,400, and action's on me. I've made my straight, but it's far from the nuts. If one of my opponents has 10-7 or Queen-10, they have me beat. However, you can call it spidey senses, woman's intuition, whatever you want, but every fiber of my being is telling me she doesn't have it. Early in my career, I'd shy away from listening to that inner voice, afraid of being wrong or looking foolish. But over the years, I've come to listen to and trust that inner voice, and most of the times it's right. And hey, if I am wrong and she does have it, I still have outs to make my low. I repot all in, and she's all in for 10,500 total. This pot now has 31,400 chips in it. In the first level, that's a whole starting stack. No, get out of here, Inez. Bad dealer. The river falls the jack of diamonds, pairing the board. My opponent reveals King Jack, 6-6-5 for a flopped 2-pair and a turn flush draw and gut shot. When the money went in on the turn, I had a whopping 76% equity. I win almost 66% of the time. She only wins around 16% of the time, and 18% of the time we will tie. It really sucked to lose this big hand so early, but if I had to give anyone chips, I want them going to the player who's calling raises in Big Bow, out of position holding King Jack 6-6-5. Because they will give those chips back. There's 2 callers, the small blind calls, and in the big blind I look down at ace, deuce, 9, jack, suited in hearts to my jack. I pot it to 1,000. I get no respect, as all 3 players call. The flop falls 8-7-5 with 2 diamonds. I bet the full pot of 4,200, and only the first limper calls. The turn is the king of hearts, and once again I bet the pot of 10,600. My opponent shoves all in, and I get my 12,400 into the middle, creating a pot of over 37,000. Is that WSOP Circuit Ring Crusher and alleged bad guy Maurice Hawkins?
It's against the law to steal from people, right?
The river is the 9 of spades, and unfortunately I'm getting quartered as my opponent turns over ace, deuce, 3, 6, 10 for the rivered gut shot. Look, I can't blame my opponent for his play here. He's got a really good hand, but once again, we see me getting it in on the turn, as a solid favorite, this time with 64% equity, and I'm winding up only getting 25% of the pot back. It's a pretty frustrating start to the tournament.
KFG Poker Club, with massive bad beat payouts. Poker tournaments with 4, 5, and 6-figure guarantees. And tons of cash games, from micro stakes all the way up to 10-20. Everything from Hold'em to Omaha, 4, 5, and 6 card, high and high-low. Follow the instructions on screen to join today.
I win a medium-sized pot with ace-2, 3-4 jack when I scoop with the nut flush. Holding ace-deuce, 3-8 queen, I wind up chopping a hand. There's a raise to 1100, and in the hijack I looked at it, ace-ace, 7-8-9, suited in nut hearts. Having 7-8-9 in your hand in Big O is terrible, as they'll make you a lot of non-nut highs and lows. However, I'm on a short stack, and having the aces as key cards, if I can get this heads up, I can be in decent shape. Hell, a low doesn't come every hand, and there's still potential to find a scoop there as well. I pot to 3,800, it folds back to the original raiser who repots, and I'm all in for 8,000 total. He turns over ace-4, 5-6, king, double suited in spades and hearts, so when the money goes in, I am a slight dog, 46% equity to his 54%. Overall, I'm going to win 33% of the time, he gets it 41% of the time, and we'll tie the other 26. The flop falls king 10-3 rainbow, and while you think, okay, he hit his king, his hand improved, it really didn't. This flop actually improves my equity as I jump into the lead with around 57%. Until he hits 2-pair on the turn as a 4 of clubs falls. Now he takes the commanding lead with 83% equity to my 17%. And unfortunately, the river jack doesn't get me there, and I bust my first bullet in this event, but I'm going to the final table on the second bullet, so stay tuned. With ace-ace, 5-6-7, I managed to make the second nut high and second nut low by the river in a 3-way pot. My high winds up being good, and we chop up the third player's money. I managed to scoop a sizable pot of over 14,000 chips, holding deuce-3, 5-8, 10, when I make a straight, and my opponent with 2-pair and a low draw whiffs on the river. Under the gun has limped, and under the gun +1, I wake up with ace-ace, deuce-5, 6 suited in diamonds to my 5. I potted to 2,300. I get one caller, both blinds fold, and the limper calls. As usual, every time you get a really good low hand, the flop seems to come high as it falls queen 10-5 with 2 hearts. It's checked around with the turn coming the 10 of clubs. We both check to the later position player who bets 5,000, and you know what? I don't fucking believe him. He's full of shit. I'm a big fan of listening to that inner voice, so I make the call. The river falls the jack of clubs. We both check, and unfortunately for me, he announces, while I can't fault my opponent for the hand he played, once again, we see the math of the universe despises me. Pre-flop, my hand is a solid 2-1 favorite over his, with 67% equity. On the flop, it's roughly the same, I'm at 66, but on the turn, when I get him to stab at it, I have 84% equity. He only wins 16% of the time, but somehow he manages to get there in a very sizable pot. Under the gun raises to 1,200, there's 2 callers. The small blind folds, and in the big blind, I looked at an ace, queen, jack, 8-8, double suited in spades and clubs. 8s are pretty terrible cards in Big O, and my hand is essentially a high-only hand with an emergency backup low. However, given the number of opponents, it's possible they're all blocking each other for lows, and the low may not even come. Since I can close the action, I make the call, and we take this flop 4 ways. The flop falls king 8-3 rainbow. I flop middle set, but I'm out of position against multiple opponents, and any non-pairing low card on the turn means I could be in a spot where I'm being free-rolled for my stack. I check, and it checks to the button who bets 4,300. I just make the call here. The original raiser calls as well. Is that Costa Rican superstar Humberto Brenes?
The chat is hungry!
The turn is the 3 of hearts. I filled up, but I'm worried if I lead out, I can scare off someone who hit the 3 but isn't full. So I check, and the button casually tosses out 15,000. I ship in my full stack of 30,700. My opponent doesn't look thrilled, but he calls off for his 22,000 stack.
Got 8s full.
Oh, you're ahead. Oh, you are ahead. And you win.
He had 2, 4.
No low. No low. Didn't make it.
He had 22,000.
Good hand.
Thank you. I mean, how can you get away from it? You got the low, you got the flush draw, you got the full house.
I
Yeah.
had the boat of the turn.
Yeah, you voted up too. Yeah.
It was the baby, but figured my low was okay.
I make the nut low with deuce 3, 4, 8 king to get half of a multi-way pot. There's 2 limpers, and on the button I look down at ace deuce 4, 5, 9 suited in spades to my 5. I raise to a dealer-friendly 3,000. The blinds fold and both limpers call, taking us 3 ways to a flop. The flop falls ace 7, 4 with 2 diamonds and 1 spade. When it checks to me, I flop 2 pair and the second low, and I opt to bet 5,000. Only one player calls.
The best hunting poker, Casino Royale.
The turn is the 3 of spades. Now my opponent announces the pot, betting 21,000. With the nut low and a spade flush draw, my chips obviously go in, and I shove my 57,300 into the middle. My opponent is all in for 39,600, creating a pot of over 100,000 in chips. My opponent turns over 8, 8, 6, 5, 3 with 3 clubs. Yes, he called a raise pre-flop with this junky hand, and he's gotten his stack in where he's being free-rolled. He can never scoop me in this spot. He has a 0% chance of winning outright. We will chop this pot 74% of the time, but 26% of the time I will make my flush and win both the high and low. These are the monster spots you dream of, free-rolling your opponent for stacks. Unfortunately, he's not punished this time for his bad play, as the river is the 5 of diamonds, and we chop it up. Under the gun is the monster chip leader at our table, and he's been playing a little too loose in my opinion. He's raised to 3,500, and under the gun +1, I look down at ace-ace, 5, 7, 8, suited in nut hearts and 8 high clubs. The 7 and 8 really hurt my hand here, but I do have half the aces in the deck. I consider re-raising to try and isolate him, as my hand will likely do much better heads up than multi-way, but I feel like I'm a bit too deep to get committed to this hand just yet. However, I don't have to re-raise to get this heads up, as everyone else folds. The flop falls Jack 10-9 rainbow. My opponent instantly bets the pot of 9,500. This is a dangerous spot for me. I flopped the bottom end of the straight. There's 0 potential for a low to come and save me for half. If my opponent already has a higher straight, I'm dead to running hearts or board pairs to boat up. And while King-Queen could be a part of his 5-card hand he raised with, generally speaking, people are coming in for raises under the gun with strong, low-oriented hands, which this flop does not hit all that well. So it's possible he might have a pair plus straight draw, or maybe 2 pair, but again, I'm listening to that inner voice that just doesn't believe he has me beat, and I make the call. The turn is the 9 of hearts pairing the board, and once again he acts almost instantly, announcing pot and betting 28,500. I go deep into the tank. In movies and TV, they always show someone with a physical tell that gives them away that they're bluffing, their hands are shaking, their throat's pulsing, they're swallowing, they're, breaking a Oreo cookie, something stupid, but in my experience, the biggest tells are betting tells. Is my opponent telling a believable story? Here, my opponent bet the flop, when the nuts are straight to the king. That's the story he's telling. He's telling me he flopped the straight. Now the board is paired. The nuts have changed, yet he continues instantly with another pot-sized bet. Usually someone has to think about their decision in these spots. If he flopped a set or 2 pair and he's boated up on the turn, wouldn't he want to get value from his opponent? Why bet so much and so quickly and scare me off? More than likely, it's just that. He's likely built his massive chip stack by being overly aggressive early and pushing people off of pots, but now he's bet so much I can't just call, because I'll be committed to the hand. I need to either fold or shove. If my opponent has the made straight, I'll need to hit a 9, ace, or heart on the river to outdraw him. If he has a full house already, then I only have 2 aces and maybe 2 9s left in the deck to beat it. This is for my tournament life. I have 50,200 remaining in my stack. That's 50 bigs. It's heaps in a Big O tournament. I don't have to risk it here. I can take the safe option. I can preserve my stack, but what have I been saying all along? Trust that inner voice. Believe in that inner voice. It's there because it knows shit doesn't add up, and it's practically screaming at me right now.
Good luck all in. Thanks, guys.
How much is it? How much more?
All right, we're all in.
You got a full house. You got a full house.
My opponent asks the dealer how much more it is for him to call, and says if you've got a full house, you've got a full house. Now I'm terrified he does actually have a higher straight than me, and I don't have enough chips to get him to fold. In addition, the dealer must be inexperienced or improperly trained, because dealers should never, ever tell anyone how much more it is. They should only state the total bet. They're not supposed to do math for the other players. But this dealer counts down the chips, and does the math for my opponent, and tells him.
How much more it's going to be? 21,800 more.
Take that long because we're hoping that 20. How much more?
More is going to be 21,800 more.
The pot is now over 107,000. The dealer should be telling my opponent that the total bet is 50,300, but instead he's telling my opponent it's only 21,800 more to call. That makes calling look like a lot better option. It looks more attractive. I don't speak up because the last thing I want is my opponent to make the call if he does have a higher straight. My opponent is deep in the tank now, and he's getting roughly 5-1 on a call. He only needs 17% equity in the spot for a call to be break even. My tournament life is on the line. Outside, I'm stoic, but inside, all of my emotions are churning as I wait for his decision. Fold. Fold, please. Fold.
I don't know why you took so long to call. Nice hand.
Thank you.
Here's 15 bucks.
Thank
You'll
you.
get to see it on the vlog.
You'll see it on the vlog. You'll see it on the vlog.
Oh, you have a vlog.
Yeah, yeah.
Holding ace-ace, king-queen 6, myself and the chip leader try to eliminate a short stack, but unfortunately, he scoops us both in the main pot, finding a triple up, and we split the side pot. I raise pre-flop after a limper with ace-ace, 4-8 jack double suited, and somehow get 3 callers, including a very solid player on the button named Amanda. On a flop of king 5-3 rainbow, I'm planning to stab at it since I do have 2 of the aces and the second low draw, but before I can, all hell breaks loose. The big blind bets, the limper shoves, and I still have Amanda behind me. If she's calling my raise pre-flop, she's likely to have strong, low-oriented hands as well.
That's 12 kinds of gross. Okay, I guess I gotta fold it. Let's see if I made the right decision. Oh my god, there's another shove. What the hell?
Harry, can you zoom into me now?
There he is.
You made the right decision.
I hope so.
Look at her face, whatever her hand is. Okay.
Yeah, she's got the ace deuce 4. Yeah, she's got the mega wrap. She's got the tight player has ace deuce 4 9 10. Got the deuce 4, so I was in trouble.
There you go. King and 5.
Shit, my aces and 3s were good. I made the right fold, wrong time.
I couldn't stream my hands because then I would have to justify them.
Well, no, I'm not streaming them.
Well, no, I mean like,
Yeah, but I get to pick and choose.
oh, touche.
Yeah. So I can pick
So
the
you
ones
don't
that make me look
necessarily have
like a
an accountability
genius.
partner.
Yeah, but I usually pick the ones that make me look like an idiot, though.
Under the gun, I look down at ace-ace, 3-3 queen double suited to my aces, and I announce pot. In this tournament, the big blind ante isn't supposed to count until after the flop, but somehow it's missed here, and I'm told pot is 14,000.
Wanna do it? I have cats to feed. No. All right. He can't beat you, but I'm I'm coming. Now he's got to look. All right. All right. So small line calls, big line calls. He's got to call. All right. I appreciate the triple up, guys. All right. Just me and the winners. Thank you. All right. Just like we practiced.
How much do you have there? 85?
Why you got to stack shame me, man?
85?
85.
The flop falls ace 6 deuce rainbow. The big blind bets 8,500.
Hot, motherfuckers.
Sorry, sir.
All right, we're all in. All right, sorry announced. Small blinds in there too. They're both coming for me.
No,
There we go.
my hand. I ain't going for nobody.
They're coming for me. Don't do it.
On the side.
Oh, chicken. They're chicken. 5 of hearts.
I'm not gonna lie. I was hoping for
Wheel.
He's got 9 of spades, 9 of clubs, 6 of hearts, 4 of spades,
Wheel.
deuce. It's just. Oh, do I have a flush? I have a flush. Thank God. Oh, thank God. I was like, I got 2 sets, motherfucker, but I got a flush.
Oh my god, he did it.
Oh, he stays alive.
On live.
He stays alive. I'm not live. This will be
In camera.
edited for later. All right.
Nice hand.
Thank you.
Hold on.
I thought I was out.
No, it doesn't matter.
I got a flush.
No, I got that for the low. Hold on.
Looking at the equities against the hand I chopped with, on the flop I have 92% overall equity. I win outright almost 87% of the time. He wins just 3% of the time, and we tie 10%. I'm just a massive favorite to scoop him here, but somehow he manages to escape with half, and I'm just happy I turned my hand up instead of mucking what I thought was only 2 sets in disgust at the runout. If I had done that, I had been eliminated from the tournament, so always turn your hands face up because even the best players can miss hands they've made in these crazy games. Even Phil Ivey missed that he had a flush and he folded.
Yeah, I guess 4 sets.
He's got a wheel.
Yeah.
He's got a wheel. What are we
He needs me to
doing?
double check to make
Where's security? This dealer's been drinking.
He did kill his hand on that.
Dealer's been drinking.
We're on the Stone Money bubble playing hand for hand. 14 players remain, 13 make the money, and I have the shortest stack. In the big blind, I luck out, picking up the very playable ace deuce 3-4-7 with spades to my 4. A looser player who's managed to play a ton of junky hands with lots of middle cards all day, but somehow collect chips despite it, has raised, and I get it in heads up against him.
You got anything? Remotely play. Oh, really? Wow, you woke up with that. You woke up with that in the bit.
Here we go.
Ace 2, 3, 4, 7.
Oh, you got all my low cards.
Oh, I'd like to
You should come high.
They're in there with that garbage?
You should come high.
Oh, man. No low.
All high cards.
No
Face
low.
cards. All face
No
cards.
low.
Face cards. Face cards.
Oh!
Face cards.
Oh!
You got a wheel. Wow.
Face.
You got a wheel draw.
Oh, God.
High card. High card.
Stay alive. Stay alive. They're on because I stayed alive.
The whole table groaned.
They're all rooting against me.
The entire table groaned when that card hit.
There's one caller, and on the button I look down at the phenomenal ace deuce deuce 3-7 with spades to my 7. I just call 6,000 with 10,000 behind. You're probably wondering why I'm not just shoving my entire stack in here. Well, it's a stone bubble, I have the button, and I have no fold equity. If I can see a flop for just 6,000, I can get away if the flop is something awful like King 9-9, allowing me to play more hands until the blinds hit me again, and giving me more chances for someone else to bust before I do. We go 3 ways to a flop of 9-7 deuce with 2 diamonds, giving me the nut low draw and bottom set. A guy I battled with at multiple tables bets the full pot of 27,000, and I get my last 10,000 in.
They don't want us to.
Don't let him see. Don't let him see.
It's for the vlog.
Make him watch the vlog, you see.
Yeah, you'll see it in a few weeks.
How do you wake up with that? That fucking hand, dude. It's crazy.
I assume I'm ahead right now.
No.
No? You guys set?
Yeah.
You guys are set?
Action done.
My opponent in the blinds turns over King 10, 9-8-8. When the money goes in on the flop, I'm a 3-1 favorite equity-wise. I scoop 62% of the time. My opponent does so only 11% of the time. And 28% of the time, we're going to chop. I get a good and bad turn as it gives me the low, securing me half the pot, but he manages to find one of the 2 remaining 8s in the deck to make a bigger set than me. And now I can only hit the case deuce to scoop, but the river queen of clubs means we'll chop this up. Still, I'm slowly rebuilding my stack bit by bit, half pot by half pot. I try to limp in the hijack with ace 4, 6, queen, king double suited, but Dean on my left raises and gets 2 callers, and I'm all in for my last 9,000, still on the stone bubble. The flop falls 10-8-8 with 2 clubs, giving me the flush draw and not much else. When my opponent in the small blind, who loves to play those middle cards, bets into 2 opponents on a dry side pot, I know I'm in trouble. He turns over ace-jack 10-9-8 for the flop boat. We are still on the bubble. Everyone at the table and at the second table are rooting for me to bust here so they could be finally in the money. And I need runner just to make a low to escape with half this pot. My opponent scoops me 70% of the time.
Oh, he's got it. My flush draw is no good. I need runner low. Made my flush. Low. Ace 4. Staying alive, motherfuckers. Y'all ain't gonna get rid of me. So sad. We got a hand. He's got the ace deuce 3. We got the ace 4. We got spades. We got hearts. Okay, that's decent. Chop it up. Ace deuce.
Oh my god, I would have won. Top over here. 7 full. 650.
Stand alive. Why are y'all rooting against me?
Holding ace 3, 5, 7, queen, I almost scooped a 3-way pot, just missing my straight by 1 card, but I did win the low half. In the big blind, I face a raise from the button and I defend holding ace deuce 5, 6, 9. On a flop of 8, 7, 8 with 2 of my suit, I rip my stack in. I have the low draw, the flush draw, and a wrap straight draw. If my opponent on the button somehow flopped a full house, I still have a way to get half. He folds and I chip up some more.
He folds, one for the good guys.
Wow.
I told you I'm winning this.
Another player is busted at the second table, and we are now officially in the money. With ace queen 10-9-3, I see a flop 4 ways, and when I flop top 2 pair, I bet the full pot of 40,000 and take it down. We go 4 ways to a flop with me holding ace 3, 6, king, king. But unfortunately, I have to fold when I whiff. I managed to hit a boat holding king 10, 6-3 deuce from the blinds on the turn, and I win a few chips. In the hijack, I come in for a raise holding ace 2, 4-4 jack. I get 3 callers, and on a flop of jack 3 deuce, I flop top and bottom pair, plus the nut low draw and wheel draw.
Good luck, all in. All right, we're all in for 45, 50, 54. I don't recommend it. All the pairs, nut low draw.
With blinds at 5,000, 10,000 with a 10,000 big blind ante, I'm in the small blind with ace 5, 7 jack queen, and nut diamonds. It folds to me. I just make the call. The big blind checks his option, and on an ace king 8 flop, I bet, and he folds. It folds to me on the button, and I wake up with ace-ace 3-9-10 double suited to my aces.
Pop, motherfuckers.
I grew up in Houston. I grew up in New York and Houston. I've been in Austin 30 years.
We popped for 35. That's us.
I was born in Austin.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Please do it.
No Asian flops. I'm not ready to bust on the final table, Bubba.
I can't get you to fold, but I got 3 deuces. I can't get you to fold.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, you definitely not folding.
You got all the cards I needed.
Yeah.
I needed those deuces.
I know.
Just double suit.
We're at the final table of 8 players with over $7,000 up top. I'm still short stacked. There was a pre-flop raise to 25,000, and we've gone 4 ways to a flop. I've made the call with ace 2, 4-9 king, and 3 spades to my 9. I only have 5,000 behind. I held on to it because if I whiff the flop, I can fold, and I hope, maybe one or two of the other players bust, and I can ladder up a pay jump or two. However, when the flop falls king, queen, 3 with 2 spades, I've got a flush draw to go along with top pair, top kicker, and a backdoor low draw. With over 100,000 chips in the middle, I'm not folding for my last 5,000.
That was the
He
flop.
purposely put a permanent ban.
That was the flop, and then the small blind bet. Min bet.
Oh, so you're currently back?
I'm all in. He called.
100.
He shoves pot. What the hell?
Only the owner could. So I have to call. I don't know if you know.
All right, just you and me.
My opponent reveals he has flopped top set. I only win this hand 30% of the time, and I'll split it 16%. Overall, I have roughly 38% equity in this spot. I'm being laid more than 20 to 1 on my money, so this is a slam dunk get it in.
Oh shit, I had a king. That's not good for me, but I got a flush draw. I got the low draws. He's got a set.
And then you got bad
He's not
again.
going nowhere. He got spades. He's not going nowhere.
He's nowhere to
Yeah,
go.
but that one. I have nowhere to go. I don't have any chips.
The turn is the jack of spades. I've done it. I've banked my flush. Now I'm 79% to win. My opponent will pair the board only 21% of the time. This is my chance to get back in it and play for $7,000 and the trophy. I've survived so many all-ins deep in this event. It's destiny. I'm meant to win this trophy.
Oh, we got the spade.
The board pairs 3 on the river, filling my opponent up and sending me out in 8th place for an $820 payout.
No, gets a full house.
All right.
Nice hand, nice hand.
No matter what we do, he's not going
It's
nowhere.
good for the vlog. All right.
Yeah, he's not going nowhere.
Hey guys, it's Anthony. What a friggin' wild ride this tournament was. We started, I think, around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I finished up sometime between 10 and 11 p.m., I think, when I made the final table. So it was a very long day for me. A lot of filming. I had 90-ish video clips of hands and stuff for me to go through. And, I took some beats early. Obviously, you saw that were very frustrating. But we lost our first buy-in. We managed to make that second buy-in work. And, down to the final 2 tables, we had 16 players left because they're 8-handed. You get 5 cards each. And I was the shortest stack. And right off the jump, the next shortest stack on my right doubled up. So I was even further in the hole against everybody, and it wasn't looking good. And you know what? I don't play a ton of tournaments. I'm more of a cash game player, obviously. But I used to play some tournaments over at the lodge. They had a PLO on Wednesday nights. They had a Big O on Monday nights. And I remember there was a month where every single one I entered, I went super deep every single time, and I would finish either on the stone bubble or 2 spots from the money, 3 or 4 spots from the money. I mean, I was there every single time, including one time where I think I flopped queens full and a queens full of 3s, and I was up against a guy who had a 3 in his hand, and obviously we got the money in, and he hit quads on me. So I had a brutal month of those tournaments, and that was a while back. But it felt like when we got down to the final 2 tables, is this really going to happen to me again? Am I going to be right on the precipice and just not make it? But I managed to hold on. I was all in 5 times on or near the money bubble, and I survived all of them. And some of them, I was called by multiple players. And what's nice in Big O is, it's a split pot game most of the time where there's going to be a high and a low hand that's split. So you just have to survive your all-ins, and it's a little bit less variance than PLO in that regard, which is nice. And, it just worked out. I think I was all in a 6th time, but I didn't get called after the flop. And so, it worked out. I went deep. I made that final table. It was looking like I might make a run at that $7,000 first place prize when I hit my flush, but the board paired. It is what it is. I've got notes over here, so if you see me glancing, I'm just trying to make sure I touch on all the different points. But one of the nice things about Big O tournaments and even PLO tournaments is that you get a lot of tournament players, right? But they don't necessarily know PLO or Big O, right? They know the aggression and the position and the stages and so forth and the bet sizes of no limit hold'em tournaments. But they don't really understand what hands are good and what hands are bad in PLO and especially in Big O. And so you will get a lot of knuckleheads in those fields where, they're playing a lot of middle cards and stuff like that. And even down to the final two tables, we still had players who, they had accumulated a lot of chips, but they were playing some very sketchy hands. And, it worked out for some of them, not all of them. But that's one thing, like if you know those games, you can chip up pretty early. I'll put some graphics up, but I forgot to make a note on this. But at the first break, I was 7th overall in chips. And then on the second break, which is when end of registration was, I was still 11th in chips. So I had grown my stack. I kind of, I'd lost a few spots in position, but I was doing pretty good. And then, as the middle stages and the later stages go on, the blinds go up. If you're not getting hands or you're not making the pots, it is what it is. I think my high point was, I had over 100,000 a few times, but I never got above the 200,000 mark. Down into the wire with the last few tables, I was never, even an average stack. But with Big O, like there was one point, I think, at the final two tables, I was down to 8,000 chips, and I think the blinds were maybe 3,000 to 6,000 with a 6,000 big blind ante. And I spun that up to over 100,000. I just kept surviving. I kept getting, half a pot here, half a pot there, and, it'd be multi-way, and, you're just chipping up bit by bit by bit. And it almost felt like, it was my destiny at one point. It really did. I was like, they can't get rid of me. I'm like the fungus that won't go away. And so I thought I might have a shot at that final table. So, it was bittersweet to finish in 8th place. But we turned a profit. We had a good experience. We got a lot of great footage for the vlog. I want to say the structure of the tournament I felt was really good. It's not necessarily fair to compare it to the Lodge's Big O because theirs is a Monday, like it's a daily tournament. It's not like part of a series. But the structure in that one is super, super turbo when you get down near the money. And so, most people have only a few big blinds. There's really no room to maneuver. It becomes a real luck fest. And I'm actually surprised in that Big O tournament on Mondays that, it's not chopped up more frequently just because it's such a crapshoot. But that's a daily tournament. This is more of a mini series for TCH. So, a little bit of a difference. But I want to shout out to TCH. The structure I felt was great. There was a few dealers that could have used some help, but overall, the majority of the dealers were good at it, and most of the mixed game crowd, in my experience at least, is usually pretty willing to help dealers who are newer or struggling with the mixed games and things. So it went out well. Wanted to give a shout out to a fellow PLO vlogger, Joey Pigtails. I was considering splitting this up into 3 separate videos because I had, 90 clips I went through. And then after I scaled that down, I still had like 31 clips that I was going to, do narration for and graphics and everything. And I was like, there's no way in hell I'm going to get that out in a week. So I was going to split it up into 3 videos. And he was like, he said that he had a similar experience when he was doing a tournament and he just had to go through and, find some hands that he could kind of gloss over and then, focus on some of the more key ones. So I tried to do that where, obviously I had a number of hands, especially near the end there, that were just all ins, and I didn't bother with the graphics. I just gave the narration. I showed, the action, the board and everything, all the people rooting against me. But it was a fun time. So hopefully you guys appreciated me cramming it into one single vlog instead of spreading it out over 3. And speaking of Big O, I am planning on making a trip. I've already booked my hotel. It's non-refundable because I wasn't going to pay the extra money to have it refundable. And so I am heading down to San Antonio Friday, September 26th. And I'm staying there Friday and Saturday. I'll be coming back to Austin on Sunday. But I'm going down to SA Card House, San Antonio Card House. They have been getting 2 to 3 Big O cash games running every night, starting around 7, I believe. And it's a 5-5 game. My understanding is I was speaking to Greg Vale, and if you don't know who he is, he's a shout out to Greg Vale. He is a author of 4, I believe, books on PLO high-low, so PLO 8, and Big O, and I have 3 of his books, and I haven't read all of them, but I'm making my way through. I have a kind of a background in fixed limit Omaha high-low. That was kind of my bread and butter many, many decades ago. But you know, the Big O, where it's a big bet game, is you know, it's pot limit, it's different strategies, and so he actually moved from Phoenix recently to San Antonio, I guess, and to play those Big O games. And so the buy-ins are like 300 to 3,000, and I guess he's saying they allow a button straddle, but I think it's a single straddle. He said most of the time it's like a $10 straddle, but they can go up to $25 straddle on the button max. So that's a little, you know, nerve-wracking, you know, that it can play that big, and it's matched the stack. But one of the nice things about Big O is that it's less variance than PLO high because of the split pot nature of the game. And so if you can find good Big O cash games, and you're rolled for them, and you know the games run frequently and they continue running, you can win, you know, 7, 8, or 9 out of 10 sessions. I mean, it's, you know, if you're a good player and the games are good. Now, when I lived in Tampa, we did not get Big O cash games. They just didn't run. If it did happen to come together one day here or there, it would be, you know, shorthanded with just 5 players. It would be super nitty. There'd be no action, and it'd break after an hour or 2. It's tough for Big O cash games to thrive just because the skill edge that the better players have, they just the nature of the game, they will win so much more frequently than the recreational players that it's tough for those games to be sustainable long term in a lot of places just because the losing players don't win frequently enough. Now, hopefully, you know, my trip down there will be beneficial, and you know, I'll have a good run, and we'll see. I'm excited for it. I will be vlogging. I did, you know, check with SA Card House. They do allow it, so hopefully, I won't get there and find out that's not the case. Where, you know, like when I went to TCH Las Colinas, and they were like, "Oh, you got to email the general manager." I'm like, "Oh, okay." But yeah, I'm looking forward to that, and I also want to check out while I'm down there. I'm at a hotel. It's kind of close to the airport, and so I'm equidistant in separate directions from San Antonio Card House and the Big Blind San Antonio, which is a room that I've only seen pictures of. I've never visited it. Excuse me, I've never visited it. But the pictures I've seen, man, it looks stunning. It looks absolutely beautiful. You can tell the passion they put into that room. And, you know, I've followed it on Poker Atlas, you know, for a while now. It just doesn't really get any games, doesn't really get much action. And, you know, I imagine there's obviously, you know, whoever's made the decisions over the years have not made the correct decisions as far as, you know, marketing and so forth. And, you know, obviously there's strong competition down there as well. But, you know, just I really want to see that room because you can tell whoever put it together has a true passion for the game. So I'm excited to go in there. Hopefully I can get some video and pictures and share it with you guys. But, the primary trip will be to play some Big O cash games while I'm down there. So if you're there, September 26th, which is a Friday, September 27th, a Saturday, I am planning on being there in the evenings to play 5-5 Big O. Say hello if you see me, and hopefully I've rambled enough so that this outro was long enough that people who were watching and seeing me get it all in at the final table thought that, oh, maybe he survives this all in because there's still all this additional time left. So holy crap, this is 12 minutes long. Wow, that is a hell of an outro. If you stayed with me for 12 minutes of my goddamn rambling, thank you for falling for it. Hopefully you guys appreciated this. Leave some comments down below. I love comments. Good, bad, ugly, you know, say mean things. I don't care. Give me the engagement. It helps. And that's it, man. We'll see you in the next one.
We getting down with the